I'm Tim, and I work with the irrigation team at Gardens of Babylon.
What makes our irrigation department different than other landscaping companies?
I think what makes our irrigation team great at Gardens of Babylon, first off, you're gonna find reliability and you're gonna find expertise. I hear so many times from homeowners that they had an irrigation problem and it might have been addressed, but they're not sure. And not only are we gonna come out and fix your issue, but we'll follow up with you. We'll show you what we fixed so that you can rest easy knowing the irrigation's doing what it's supposed to do. The other thing I'd mention that makes our team a little unique is that our technicians are paying attention to what the water's doing. And our water is a resource and it's a commodity. It can cost quite a bit to water your lawn year round. And so we want to make sure that that water is watering the lawn, is watering your plants, and is not watering this beautiful patio that we're standing on.
So what are the benefits of using an irrigation system for your landscaping?
The benefits are pretty straightforward. You know, our designers put so much thought into the plants that we choose and the placement of those plants, and the teams that install them put so much care into the planting. So it's our privilege really to be able to take it from there and make sure these plants are happy year round. So the big benefit of irrigation, watering all your plants in your lawn, it can be a part-time job, and most of us don't have time to add that into what we already have going on. So having an irrigation system, especially one that's dialed in very well, that's maintained year-round, that's going to relieve that responsibility, relieve that worry that your plants might be struggling when it gets really hot in Tennessee.
How often should I be watering with irrigation?
That's a really important question, and probably the one we get most often. How frequently should I be watering my plants, whether I'm doing it myself or it's my irrigation? And what we like to encourage is what I call deep infrequent watering. So big common mistake is that I should be running my system every day in the summertime because it's 90 degrees and it hasn't been raining. But if you're running it every day, what that's going to do is encourage a very shallow and fickle root structure. If we water less frequently, those plants or the lawn is going to get a nice drink, and then when it dries out a little bit, the roots are going to reach down a little bit deeper to establish themselves better, to try to find water in the soil. So we encourage people this time of year to run their irrigation system just 2 or 3 days a week. And then in the summertime, we usually bump that up to 3 or 4 days a week, depending on soil conditions and the location of that property.
How often should an irrigation system be maintained?
Yeah, that's a great question. So any irrigation system in our area is going to need at least 2 services each year. Because we get cold winters, especially this past winter where we had deep freezes in December, it's really important that we flush all of the water out of the irrigation piping. If we don't do that, you could have issues with that water freezing inside the pipe and cracking the pipes. So every year, you need to make sure you have that service done, that all the water's blown out, and then that in the spring, the system started up again, we reintroduce water back into the lines. And at that time, we set a spring schedule so that we're watering the appropriate amount for that time of the year. So those are the 2 essential services, but the other services we offer are really important. Because we set that spring schedule for spring, that's not going to be the same schedule that you're going to want during the summertime. Some homeowners are comfortable getting out there and adjusting the schedule themselves, and we're happy to work with them as well, but we'd like to take that on entirely for you if you don't want to mess with the schedule. In addition to that, when we come out to change the schedule, we're going to do a full inspection on the system, because not only setting the schedule is important, but making sure everything that was working in springtime is still working in the same way when the summer heat comes. So we're out here looking at what's probably the most important piece of your irrigation system. It's the backflow preventer. And it does exactly what the name says. It prevents water from flowing backwards through the device and mixing with the water inside the house. It's going to keep water for your irrigation separate from the water inside. And if you ever notice that this device is leaking, give us a call and we'll come out and fix it for you. In the meantime, if you want to stop the leak before we can arrive, these 2 levers on top of the device, right now you can see they're parallel with the piping. All you're going to want to do is take one of them and turn them perpendicular with the piping. That should stop the leak. If it doesn't, again, give us a call and we'll come out and check it out.